Hello, Drag Race TV LA fans. We have the whole team here. Whole team.
Yay!
We're ready to start the show.
Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Drag Race TV LA. Oh, is that me? Why? I turn this down every time, and every time it comes on. So I apologize. Welcome to Drag Race TV. I'm Lorayne Love, joined by, as Jackie said, everybody's here this Sunday. We've all had our rest. We are here. Who's with Jackie's here, Jayla's here, Ollie's here, Tez is here. Only one not here is Mark. So screw him.
He's here in spirit.
In spirit is right.
Yeah.
Yes, may he rest in peace.
You can find us here every Sunday, 3 o'clock Pacific time, recapping each week's episode of RuPaul's Drag Race Season 13, or whichever version of the franchise is airing that we're able to do. Follow us on social media, which is our initials, DRTV LA. Sometimes we do have to change show times and stuff, so you want to make sure you're following us on social media so you always know when and where to find us. We did finally reach 300 subscribers on YouTube, woohoo, which was my goal this season. And we're at 330, I think, now already. So that's great. So we're quickly approaching 400. Can't wait. Thank you all who subscribe, those who listen on audio. We love you too. So what did we think overall of the episode? We'll start with Ollie.
Oh goddamn! Not me first. I enjoyed it. It was just kind of like we already know what's gonna happen. We already knew the case. What was the case? Top four. We're gonna have a top four in the finale. It was nice though. It's just a nice little kind of like regrouping after last week. So it was just a standard episode.
Tez.
It was okay. I actually just watched it.
Oh, we starting already.
Listen, I haven't been here in 3 weeks, so I'm ready to stir the pot. Okay.
Right.
But no, I it was okay. It was something to watch. I just watched it literally before we got on here. So yeah, it was okay.
Jayla.
Well, I guess Tez doesn't have a heart, obviously. So I had my box of tissues. It was one of the most amazing episodes this entire season. We're finally getting to the final lap of this whole entire process. And I'm surprised that the show is actually ending this time. So, but no, we'll talk about it more in detail.
Jackie, your overall.
I love that. I like Jayla. I love that it was emotional. Like there were quite a few points in the show where I got emotional. It's really nice to me too, because I feel like, except for Candy, sorry, Ronnie Jr., that I connect to the top four. So I really appreciated seeing all of their journeys, but I know that there are Candy fans out there too. So for all of you Ronnie Juniors out there who love Candy and or want to sleep with Candy, we respect you.
I thought we decided that Ronnie was actually Candy. I think we determined. I think we decided that.
Okay, look, I think
Ronnie is actually Candy, but you didn't hear from me.
Well, Ronnie's trying to sleep with Candy, so he's like ready to be the Candy's hype person.
Have at it. I always feel bad now coming and doing this because I've said this before. This is not one of my favorite seasons, maybe my least favorite season ever. So I think just because of my animosity towards the season, I just really can't get into these. There were some great tender moments. I'm not putting that down. This is one of the parts of the show that I really do enjoy, is, that moment where they have to kind of go back and reflect on their lives and stuff like that. So I enjoyed that. Was anything profound, new, exciting, unexpected? Absolutely not. But we're here to delve into all the little nooks and crannies of the episode. And make sure you stick around to the end. We'll be doing fan of the week, quote of the week, some predictions maybe. And just because Tez is back, I will be reading off who we all picked.
I'm leaving. I'm out here. Take me on my
I
car.
think I'm winner,
Yeah.
winner, chicken dinner for top 4 because I believe I picked 3 of the
I
top
think
4.
Jackie does have the most chosen. But although we weren't picking who we thought would be, we were saying who we wanted, who we would like to see in a perfect world in the top. So stick around for that. Just as a reminder, last week on Drag Race, it was the 10th elimination of the season. The Maxi Challenge was the sci-fi adventure Henny, I Shrunk the Drag Queens. And the runway category was Hot Pocket. Hot Pocket, however you want to say it. Rosé won, and Olivia Lux sashayed away in a lip sync against Candy Muse. So we are now at the final four queens. So there was really, actually, when I was doing the notes, I felt like there wasn't a lot to write down because I feel like a lot of it was just repeating. Like, I just felt like this episode was a lot of repeating of stuff we've heard before. I haven't done cocaine. I have my allergies, so my nose is running. So I apologize in advance. I should have put a box of Kleenex here. Now I look like I have a cocaine problem. One of the things the queens did discuss, which I thought we could discuss maybe and get a little bit into, is they all discussed after the elimination their track record in the competition. So as a reminder to everybody listening and watching, I will just go through and remind everybody, and then we can all go around and kind of comment on what, if we think that means anything, do they think that gives them an advantage, a disadvantage, that kind of stuff, or your overall thoughts on the final four. So Simone has 4 wins and 2 lip syncs for her life. Rosé has 3 wins, no lip syncs, and I don't think, I could be wrong, I don't think Rosé has ever even been in the bottom 3. I could be wrong.
She was when she did the makeover with Tina. She was one of the lower ones.
You are right. Okay.
That's really Tina.
She was from the pork chop group.
Right.
Oh.
Right. Well, I'm not really counting that. And then Gottmik has 2 wins. She has been in the bottom, but never had to lip sync. And they do say on the show from this past week, somebody, I think Carson says, well, she's never been in the bottom. And that's not true. She has been in the bottom a couple times. She just never lip sang for her life.
And she should have been there at least twice.
She definitely should have been there.
Who am I? I'm not RuPaul, so I'll be quiet.
And then Candy has 1 win and 3 lip syncs for her life. So is there anybody dying to get their opinion out about just like the standings and opinions on whether these have anything to do with anything? Go ahead, Jayla.
Okay, thank you for picking me first. So I have to say this. Track record only matters to them. Because we've seen people in previous seasons, including the All-Stars where they vote, that people have track records and get essentially, quote unquote, robbed. So for them to say, like, I have this, I have that, it makes more sense if you were on Big Brother or something like that, where it kind of can benefit your game. But I don't think that the track record does anything but pushes your booking fee or your ego or whatever the case might be. Now, if we were going on track record, I do think that Rosé is the most consistent, is the person that would be the winner. If we're doing off calculations, if this was a pageant, Rosé is obviously the winner. You know what I mean? But I don't think it's going to go down that way because you have to think about production, who's likable, who's able to sell the brand, who's able to sell the show, who's better off on commercials rather than doing a Drag Race tour. You know what I mean? So all of those factors are what's going to help us pick a winner in 2 weeks. But I do think that track record wise, Rosé is the winner.
Okay. Anybody have a differing opinion on that? No.
I don't have a different opinion. I think it's pretty consistent, but I do feel like, for example, like when they got to the end of the episode, and I'm sure you're gonna try to talk about it when he like called them to the front. if I was Simone and I saw Candy get called before me, I would have flipped it because I'm like, wait, she's been the bottom 3 times. So that I would have honestly been like, you know what, she's just joking with me because I know I'm about to be standing up there too. So yeah, that's just my only comment to that, based off the track record.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I think, the thing I always do is I wait for them to post on like the Drag Race Instagram or the World of Wonder Instagram, which team are you? I always just jump over to there and see who's got the most likes. That's usually what I do.
Well, now I got fooled that way because I for sure thought that Bimini, her UK, was that girl.
Yeah.
Because she had the most likes on her Instagram. They were all hooping and hollering for her. She had new music videos coming out right around the finale. I was like, oh, she's obviously the winner. And the gag is.
Well, I wonder how like they film, like if they did 2 like filmings of like the crowning for UK. So I wonder if they did 2 crownings for, like filming wise. But I don't know how it is going to be.
Sure.
Yeah, I don't know how it is.
I feel like they did.
You think so?
Because they had a reveal video on YouTube of them watching themselves. Yeah.
I think honestly, it comes down to who Ru wants to crown. I think that it's
production.
Ru production. It's always like kind of like who's the most marketable, like what kind of drag that we haven't been able to represent on Drag Race yet. So I think that you have to put that into perspective as well when we're crowning a different queen each season. Well, I think that's a huge reason why I love Evie, but I think that's another reason why Evie was crowned on her season. She only had that one shared win. She did amazing though her season, but she can perform and whatnot. But I think it's kind of like who's in, like who do we want to represent this season? We want a different style of drag. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I think
I'll tell you.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
I think taking that into account, I think this is gonna, like, to me, I think Gottmik is gonna win just because of like the story evolution and how Ru was reacting to Gottmik in this episode. So what you were saying, like Ollie, what is happening in drag now? Like, what do people think of as like the future of drag? So I think that's the story. But for me personally, like I said before, any of the top 3, they're a top 3 to me.
Yeah.
Any of the top 3, I feel like it's a winner. I mean, it's just Candy has lost so many times and I think she's only won once. So it's just a little bit like, I don't, you have the other queens telling Olivia she has more to learn about drag, and it's like, okay, but Candy does too, I think. So it just doesn't feel to me like this is her time. But any of the top 3, I can totally see winning.
I want to add something really quickly to this. So it's interesting because like in the African American community, what I'm seeing in the comments a lot, and this is like peers and just comments, they're saying that they're not going to crown Simone because they've already crowned, back to back 2 African American queens. And so honestly, it goes to what you're saying. That mindset goes to what you're saying as far as like what production wants, what Ru wants, because the real reason why I think Bimini did not win is because they wanted someone that was larger and more like a larger plus size queen. And I think they haven't had that since, I don't know, have they ever had that?
Okay, so since we're telling tea, I do think that, and I may get in trouble for this, but this is how I feel. This is just how I feel. I feel like the winner of season 12 was switched last minute because of everything that went on during the summer because of race.
Yeah. And so that's what I'm saying. So I had this whole argument about like, Gottmik is not going to win. Obviously, Rosé is like the clear winner for the show, but honestly, popularity wise, it's Simone too, because like she's like been coined to win. But the mindset of that, what we're talking about right now, it would make more sense for it to go with Gottmik because now Drag Race is trying to further their brand. They've already changed the name from, May the Best Drag Queen win and things like that. They're trying to show progress. So why not crown? Exactly. So that's, what I think what they're going to do now. Who I want to win is different, but at the same time, I think Like, we know how this show works. Like Jayla's been saying all season, production. And honestly, it's the truth. Because if it wasn't for production, Candy would have been gone home like, forever ago.
And that's why it's like because my thing is like, if it was a fan's choice, it would be a live show. It would be y'all call in and vote. We don't give a fuck what you think. You know what I mean? Talk about the show. That's what we're here to do. That's what we're here to do. But at the end of the day, it is a concept. It is it's a saving grace, saving face, keeping people's jobs, all of these things. So all of that is a factor on the Drag Race TV show is constructed. So we can say, oh, she's robbed all day long, but who's to say like, we didn't like her because of this, or halfway through the competition, this came up in her background check. See, you gotta, you know what I mean? Like little things like that. So I ain't putting none of stuff out there, but it happens.
Well, remember with like Sherry Pie last season, it's like we were all thinking Sherry Pie, like at the beginning of the season, we were like, what is going to happen if this person gets to the end and they're trying to like edit her out? And that is what happened. It's like, this person did something that made them, completely unworthy of being on the show, but then it caused.
But they didn't find out until after.
Right. And then it caused a problem for production because she had gone so far in the season that it became hard to like recirculate the narrative.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought I knew what was going to happen, and you guys gave me so much to think about. So.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I feel like this finale is going to be where, because I feel like all the girls now, we all left neck and neck.
Yeah.
So finale is what's going to put you here up, or put you with your silver trophy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And my thing is, who's to say that any of these girls won't go off and do other branches of Drag Race? Because I feel like that's what happened to Brooklyn. Brooklyn's like, well, Viacom has you under so many contracts. If you win this show, it's not going to be best for your career. Happens to American Idol, happens a lot all the time. You don't want to win those shows because they have you for so long and you get to do what they want you to do. But if you get what you need to get out of it, book up your booking fee, and then there's something else on the outskirts for you. I'm so sure that Brooklyn moving to Canada's Drag Race helped her career more than she would have won last year or 2 years ago. I
just like thinking now about everything you guys said about the narrative and stuff like that. I don't know. I keep thinking. I just go back to, unless they're doing something different with the finale, Gottmik is going to have to beat two people in a lip sync for her life.
Well, yes. Yeah,
that's true.
I just don't see how that's going to happen. I mean, there's going to be a lot of camera editing to make that happen. I mean, as much as I do think she's wonderful, I just don't see that happening. So it's really going to show. I mean, I feel like this season really showed a lot of the production's hand. So maybe the finale won't be any different, and maybe it will be something like that. That's my only argument to her winning. I still think Simone is going to win. I really truly do. I don't think what you were saying, Tez, that the people were saying they don't think they would do another African American queen, but I don't know. I don't think that that's the case. Okay. It never even dawned on me till you said that I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, Drag Race has been very white lately, because I mean, even the queens make jokes about it. Thin and white. That's part of like their winner circle.
I agree 1,000%. But you did have Priyanka win Canada. You had Heidi win Congeniality. You had Jada win. So I agree. Yes, it does.
I think with that, I think the thing is that it all happened at the same time. Like all those wins came in from Jada to Priyanka at the same time. So just in our community, it felt like it was convenient for them to handle those titles based off what was happening, in the world at that time. So that's what, like all those wins you mentioned, but before that, it was seeming like, well, dang, we're not going to get anyone that's Black. Just like how people probably felt about, what's her name? The plus size one. Like No one has won. So it's like it just was convenient, I feel, in my opinion. But yeah, go ahead.
No, that's why I think Simone will win, because of what you said. Like, I think that they go, you know what, this time it's somebody who, not saying Jada didn't deserve it, not saying Heidi didn't deserve it, not saying Priyanka didn't deserve it, but I think Simone really has kind of who's left, she kind of rose to the top, in my opinion. From the very beginning.
She's won four challenges. I mean, statistically, if you're looking at statistics, and I think if you're looking at who is the fan favorite of the top four, I think it's Simone's game to lose. But I also am aware that, like, Ru is, you know, they like to say, like, someone in the chat said this, it's like they want to be able to say we crowned the first trans drag queen on Drag Race, especially after some of the things that like some of the negative press about the trans community that have come in on Drag Race. So I do think that, like, that's something to think about as far as, like, production.
Yeah.
But if you're looking at statistics,
because it's like, that's
gonna
make really good headlines.
Yeah.
Drag Race crowns its first trans drag queen or trans contestant, and that's going to be the headline for the next 2 or 3 weeks after she wins. We break history. We love Drag Race, LGBT rights. You know what I mean? It's going to be all of that. So why not go with Gottmik? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I'm so sure they're doing that.
Well, like he said, Gottmik is not a performer, and if they're doing like Lorayne said, if they're doing the same format like not last year, because obviously we can be in the studio now, so they're gonna be in person. It's not gonna be virtual, I don't believe. And so, with that being said, like you said, they're gonna have to. There's not enough editing to where she can win against really any of those three, unless she has like
she
this
looks
amazing,
like really, really sickening.
It has
unless she has a reveal, exactly, like she makes some kind of production. And let's face it, Gottmik probably has the funds to do so. Like, I know, like, they're going to be in person, but like she is more than capable of having that reveal. But I also agree with you, Lorayne. Like, I know Gottmik is kind of the weaker performer, but I also think Jayla kind of mentioned this earlier. I think losing is the new winning. You know, like, to me, I still, in a way, a part of me thinks Rosé is going to win this, because to me, professionally, she seems the most ready. Like, she's just ready to go. She's the triple threat. She can sing, she can dance, she's funny. She's what else?
Yeah.
She did.
There's
really
no
good
way in
season.
hell that Ru is going to call me a total package and not crown me. I'm gonna shoot everybody in this bitch.
And I'm a much bigger fan of Gottmik and Simone. Like, those two, like, I feel like we've gotten to connect with them, like, on.
But I want to see you on Work the World.
Level.
I'll see you at Work the World.
Or I always think of All Stars. As a viewer, I don't need to see Rosé on All Stars. I want to see Simone and Gottmik on an All Star season. But also, that's me showing my bias of me being more of a fan of Gottmik and Simone than I am of Rosé. Yeah. But I still think a part of me thinks Rosé will take the crown if they decide to do the
Simone,
lip sync
if I were you, love, I would say, send me to Vegas. Put me on the Vegas residency. You know what I mean? That's still a thing. Like, they're opening that back up. Put me on something where I know I can make money and I can sweet tooth and sugar low all night long and I can make my $100,000 in that 6 months guaranteed. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, see it for that. And that's why Jamal Sims was there, because he's like I said, every episode is an audition. And Jamal Sims is the director of that Vegas residency. So Candy for sure is going up there. You pick up choreography well, great. We have a week to learn the choreography. The show changes every week. Great. You know what I mean? Like, you don't have to win. Like, Simone, go to Vegas. Candy, go to Vegas. Gottmik, go to Vegas. I will pay for the VIP and I will sit there and enjoy you. Rosé is like clearly somebody that's brand worthy. You know what I mean?
Yes, I agree.
So who knows?
Yeah.
I just want to address, someone in the chat room was asking about, like, I think it was Chucky Chuck. Don't some of them have the same talent management, or don't, you know, a question about why being the winner is not as good sometimes as being the almost winner. And it's, It's well known behind the scenes in reality TV. Maybe I'm not sure about Drag Race, but on a lot of other shows, when you win, you're locked into a contract of exclusivity. So if you're not the winner, or if you're like not even in the top 5, sometimes you have more freedom as to what other things that you can do that might even make you more money. I mean, when you're looking at, and again, Drag Race is different because a lot of WoW produces a lot of the same stuff, where it's not like being on Top Chef, where then you're like, well, I'm going to go off and like make a cookbook or do my own show with totally different producers. Here it's like, okay, well, you know, WoW is producing that show over there and this show and this show and this show. So it's all in the same family. But I mean, when you look at people like Shangela, who are on other television shows, you know, they're in movies and they're booking live performances all with that as well. So you have a little bit more freedom if you're not the winner sometimes, to be able to say, okay, well, now I'm going to go do an HBO show on my own.
Yeah. So with that, like Shangela was able to get an agent and help her get a SAG card. So that's why she was able to do mainstream cable and stuff like that. So if you were to do that, you would have to check in with Viacom. You got to check in with what's the name? World of Wonder, you know, all those things. And then all your money gets trickled down. So you got to pay all of them first. And then when you get your money, you get $75.
Wow.
Showbiz.
Silence.
I opened a can of worms. Wow.
Yeah, we're talking, honey.
Well, that's
This
the
is
thing. It's like
We are-
Shangela may have not won.
This is the
Shangela may have not won any like her season or All Stars or anything like that, but arguably she could be financially off better for the decisions that she's made. That's all that we're saying.
Be smart about it. Exactly.
Okay. Yeah. 25, 30 minutes in, let's talk about the show.
Now that's Jay, honey.
Now the show starts. Now get ready.
Now, welcome to Drag Race TV LA. All right, so there was no mini challenge. The maxi challenge was the queens had to write a verse, learn choreography from Jamal Sims, and perform in the new music video for the world premiere of RuPaul's new single, Lucky. And they also got to be a guest on Inside the Drag Race with RuPaul and Michelle. You know, the Inside the Drag Race kind of came next. Like there was a little bit of chit chat and stuff, but that was kind of the next thing we saw. And I mean, I didn't, again, I started to take notes, but I was like, nothing seemed really new. Like I kind of was kind of like, everything I already kind of knew. I mean, I don't know. Did anything to anybody stand out to you in their interviews with Ru and Michelle?
Yeah, I mean, I think so. Like I think what struck me about this season is I felt that Michelle, sometimes you can see in the interviews where Michelle and Ru might have a real rapport with a drag queen versus like maybe not, but it seemed like every single queen this season, every single queen that they were interviewing, they seemed like they were having a genuinely good conversation where they were really enjoying it, and queens with such different personalities too. So that was something that really struck me, where I was like, here you have these queens with like completely like diverse personalities, but they seem to be having a really great conversation with them.
But I didn't.
I am just happy that we changed it to inside the actor studio thing, so that way I don't have to go and Google invisible episodes. So we got to see what they was given today, and then that only day, you know. So I thought it was great to uncover, you know, Mick's story and the backstory about what Got Mick is, because it's like not everybody knows that. If you know Got Mick, then you know what that is. But I'm glad she was able to like express that, and we got like a full circle story about like, because you know they say that Miss Ru is transphobic, which is absolutely false. So we get to see this like heart to heart, you know, conversation between Ru and Got Mick, so, or Cade, as we will, the person. So I thought it was sweet.
Yeah, I
Also
felt
the-
like, and I don't know if it was
sorry.
on, I don't know if it was on the episode or if I saw it later on social media. Rue, there's something with Rue, and she says something like, you know, the show and the contestants have shown me that drag has changed, that drag has evolved. And I thought that was very kind of like, you could almost see it like she's starting to kind of get it, you know, and I'm the same way, you know how I am, you know, I this not padding and the no boobs for me is like really hard to wrap my head around, you know, because I spend so much time like, oh, can I wear that because of my bra, or can I wear this because of my corset and da da da? That I, you know what I mean? Like, I just, it's ingrained in me as a part of what the illusion for me is. I get it that there's some androgynous drag and, you know, the dark, gloomy, like the other show, Dragula. You know what I mean? Like, there's all this different, and I completely get that. It's just, it's, you know, I think she's starting to realize too that it's changing and stuff. So I thought that is great. And she did seem like she genuinely was moved by Gottmik and her story and stuff. And she's very likable. Gottmik is very likable. So Ollie or Tez, did you have anything about inside the actors, or inside the actors studio, I almost said. Drag Race?
Inside the Rue studio.
I liked seeing the Tic Tacs return. That was cute.
Me too. Me
Right?
too. I love the Tic Tacs.
I love that. That was honestly the standout moment for me out of everyone's conversation. It was
For
nice.
a quick second, I thought they were Cheeto Puffs. But I said, those are some big ass Tic Tacs, but you know.
Tez, did you have anything you wanted to add?
Not really.
Okay.
I mean, I guess I'm a little heartless. Like I was listening. I thought they all had really good stories. I really, honestly, usually I identify with like the underdog or someone that I feel, like, oh my God, like they made it this far. I'm more touched by those type stories, but I feel like because production was so heavy and everything this season, it was like already kind of understood what was going to happen. So I don't really feel like any of them just really just touched me in any kind of way. No pun intended.
I was thinking.
You know what happened to the last girl that was touching people?
I was thinking too, because this season there's more episodes with everybody. We're finding out more of them before the end. Whereas before, I think we still didn't know a lot about them until we got to these interviews. Now we're getting so much information and exposition that when it comes to this, again, I think that's why I was kind of like, okay, like nothing new here, I think Candy's name was the only thing new that I was like, oh, that's how she came up with it. Did I care? No, but whatever. Jackie, you got something that you love, rehearsal time on stage. But everybody seemed to do decent. Simone kind of had a couple flubs, which I don't think anyone was surprised at. She's not a dancer.
Mm-hmm.
She's not a dancer for money.
Jackie, I do love that. Like, it's also it's also fun seeing Jamal be able to adjust to the learning style of each of these queens. Like he says to Mick, I know you don't count. And then Simone, like giving these little notes and seeing them make the adjustments based on the notes is something I appreciate, because then I feel like for me, I appreciate the final product better when I see, oh my gosh, they took these notes and they were able to adjust it and learn and then grow.
Yeah. There was, I just felt like there was, when Tez messaged the group and said he was going to watch, I said, drink caffeine, because I was just like, so again, it's like, I don't know, like, I really want to be entertained. And I guess I'm not really connecting with anybody this season that's still left. So I'm just kind of like, whatever.
I like all of them, except for I'm not really.
I like them. I don't
want I like them all.
I don't want to sound like a Debbie Downer.
from many seasons, this is the first time I've seen consistently like across many people that it's anybody's game. People feel strong that any of them could win. So I think that they're great. Like, I don't dislike them. I'm just kind of like scoring from the season because it's like I lost interest honestly about 3-4 episodes ago because it was just going on. Not that anyone should have went home, but it was just dragging out. Like, they've been entertaining. They've done well. The themes have been great. The lip syncs have been great. But it's just something about like this time frame they've like expanded, but it's just like I'm not as excited as I would usually be. So, but I do agree. Each of them could win, honestly. I mean, I think somehow, I even think Katie could win because they praise her so much, child. But I don't really think that. I'm just saying, that's my other half. Shut up.
Where is the shade button? Y'all are really stirring this pot. I can't.
Yeah, that's all. Like, they're great. They're great individuals. Like, they're great. All of them are great drag queens. Even Candy, I guess. But at the same time, it's just like I'm just not as excited as I would usually be. No.
I'm kind of the same way. So I saw this being discussed in the chat room before. Well, I think right as we went live, or just before we went live, and I have a very strong opinion about Ru's new single, "Lucky." I guess I'll go last, but over like the song itself, what did you guys think of the song itself?
I can't get it out of my head. I absolutely love the song. It sounds like one of those Disney Channel songs, where it makes you want to get up and dance with the girls. But I think it is something that's fresh. It's new. It's Megan Trainor-ish. Like it's catchy. We like catchy bops. And when it comes on in the club, you gotta grab your friends and you just bend over and get your little arm and legs up and do your little dance, honey.
Oh, so, yeah.
I'm feeling it. I loved it. I absolutely loved it.
Does everybody feel that way?
I feel that way too. I loved it. And I also love the style of filming. I don't know if they did that because of COVID, not having them all. I think they did that season 8 where they individually filmed each queen like that.
Yeah. And we have to say that, hang on, I didn't mean to cut you off, but we have to say that the video was heavily inspired by our girls, Destiny's Child, okay, in the Say My Name video. So that's where the inspiration is.
Yeah.
I really love the video. I thought it was cute and fun, and the song is fun. I think we needed something just like happy and bubblegummy for these like sad times that we're in.
Yeah.
Ollie,
what did you think?
I liked the aesthetically. I loved it. Like what Jayla's saying, I loved the color blocking, different lingerie outfits. It gave me also like Moulin Rouge a little bit. But like I like that they kind of did it like a jazzy style song. It's not really my taste. It was cute. Like it was cute. Like I just haven't been blown away from a performance since like season 10 with American. Like I love that kind of like just go all out. Like yes, Jayla, I said what I said. I said
American.
What I said. Yes, I said what I said. With Asia, with Aquaria, Cameron, Eureka, they killed that. That was a finale song. That's a banger. I said what I said. And yes, review wrote you, but that's like
you destroyed Jayla.
Candy, why are you talking to Tamisha like that?
Is it safe to come back? Is it safe to come back? I just want to know.
American.
I loved it. Oh my gosh. I loved it.
Gosh. Okay.
Well, someone in the world had to.
American, Ollie.
I said what I said. Yes. I'm not gonna put this on my playlist. I'm not gonna put Lucky on my playlist. I'm sorry. It was fun. It was jazzy. It was cute.
Now that I can agree with. I agree. Okay.
Fair. It was cute.
So I agree. The song was cute for that. It's not necessarily something. I actually add all of my favorites to I have a playlist called RuPapocalypse. It's on iTunes. You're gonna find it. And literally, I add all of my favorite, like RuPaul, whether it's the groups and the cast or just her songs. And so, like, this would not be added to it, but it was cute. I mean, it's catchy. but I would not grab my girls in the club and grab their leg because we just don't do that. And and yeah, so it was cute at the moment. They looked great, inspiration. I got it. Yeah.
Well,
the verses. Are we talking about the verses or just the whole thing?
I just meant overall. What I was gonna say is I think 1000% agree with Jayla. I think this might be my all-time favorite RuPaul song now.
I was not expecting that from you. Oh my God, yes.
I want her to do it like just her. Like I want her to write her own verses and make it its own. Like I don't want them in it. I want a RuPaul, 3 verses and a bridge, full song all I kept thinking was, oh my God, I love this song. Oh my God, I love this song. I wasn't even listening to the lyrics of the Queens because I just love, that's just so my style. Like I love that. Very Meghan Trainor, agree 1000%, Jayla. And I love me some Meghan Trainor. So I know there are people in the chat that it was like everybody either really loved it or really didn't like it. So I thought it was interesting. That's why I wanted to ask you guys.
Wait, I got one more thing to say.
Yeah.
American.
I said, I'm not changing it. I said what I said, and I'm not changing it.
For the first time, I actually have to side with Jayla, American. But you know what? I'm not. It's your opinion. It's your
Y'all
taste.
just hate season 10. Y'all just hate season 10.
No, I love that season, but they did them so dirty with American. They could have given them so much more. But anyway,
I had some of my friends from work were saying that they thought that I think this was season 8 when they filmed everybody differently, and then it only ended up being a top 3, and they had to edit whoever it was out. I don't even remember. I think this was Bob's season.
Yeah, it was Chi Chi.
Yeah. It was Chi Chi. They edited Chi Chi out, and
then they added her back in last year when she passed. So
yeah.
Or 2 years ago.
So I am kind of like, as much as I think it should have been a top 3, I am kind of glad that they didn't like film them all and then they were like, now Candy, you get to be edited out because you're not really in the top 3, because that would really suck. It's like you get this far and you feel like you're in the top performance, and then all of a sudden they just get rid of you.
She was edited out.
Chi Chi was in hers in their
she was
season.
eliminated.
She was eliminated for the top. She was the 4th in the top 4, and then they eliminated her when they released the video.
The shame. Anyway,
they can do what they want to do. All right, so we'll do the runway and talk about each person's verse as well and performance in the video kind of simultaneously. So the runway was drag excellence. No guest judge, it was family only. So Rue, Michelle, Carson, and Ross. Then we'll go one at a time. There's only 4. So first up was Gottmik. She had the black and white polka dotted look on the runway, and her performance. We'll start with Tez. What did you think of Gottmik overall?
Original. Well, I wouldn't say original, but it was very on brand for Gottmik. I like how she added she wanted to tie a little glamour with it, but I don't know if I would have made that my drag excellence. I feel like she could have, compared to what we've seen, she's given us more. And it's always interesting when the queens come to the final look and they've given us a better look in the past. It makes the last look kind of like look not that great. So yeah, that's how I feel about it. It was okay. It was nice. It was pretty. And I wouldn't say it was groundbreaking, but yeah.
Jackie?
I agree with Tez. I love that last look so much, the pocket watch flasher look. This was not that she's ever bad looking, but this was just not her best look out of all the looks that she's had this season. So it was hard for me to say, oh, this is like your drag excellence, because I feel like you could be more excellent.
I guess I forgot to, we lost Tez, but
no, sorry.
Also, what did you guys think of her verse in Lucky? Tez?
Better than I expected.
Better than you expected. Okay, you kind of broke up.
It wasn't my favorite.
Okay.
Yeah, better than I expected. Yeah, it was my favorite.
Jackie?
I don't have really much to say on the verses because I felt like everyone did equally well, like with the verses and with their performances. So I didn't really feel like one was more ranking above the others.
What? You didn't like when she said, you want to kiss on me? That actually is my second favorite to. My favorite verse is actually Rosé's, but we haven't gotten to her. So she was actually my favorite verse. Very well versed in her verse, literally.
Jayla, what do you think of Gottmik?
Okay, so I absolutely loved Gottmik's look. The body was right, the makeup was fun, like, you know, everything was great. I'm just so happy because at the beginning of the season, we were very like kind of rough about where she wanted to take her drag, if you will. So I was just like, please don't be light blue and pink. Please don't be light blue and pink. And she came out with the spots, and I was like, okay, I'll take it. You know what I mean? Because I just knew that it was going to be something light blue and pink, and I was just like, I don't want to see it, you know. But she absolutely killed it. Her verse was better than I expected, if you will, because she was talking about rainbows and loving yourself, and I was like, nah, baby, we don't like that. So I'm glad that she, you know, had a wake up call and was like, no, we don't, you know, and I'm glad that she kind of checked herself in the episode. But the dance was right. The blue looked so great on her skin. It was amazing.
Ollie?
Yeah, she had one of my favorite performances. I will say that her look, like, it was very Gottmik, I thought, but like when I think of like I agree with Tez, basically, the drag excellence. I guess I expect like her promo look or that one look she did with like the sea dragon where it was just like metallic. So I was honestly underwhelmed by her drag excellent look on the runway this week.
Yeah.
But good performance.
Yeah, I agree. I think I was again, and sometimes I never know, like, did I really like it or was I just expecting worse? And I was so pleasantly surprised that I liked it. And I think that was how it was for her, is I was like, oh, she's actually doing really well and holding her own, just because on a performance level, she doesn't usually seem to stand out to me. But and I get it, it's Final Four. They stopped saying bad things about anybody. You know, it's all praise, praise, praise. But come on, that was the drag excellence look. Like, come on. I was a lot disappointed. Next up is Candy Muse. On the runway, she had the like orange and blue, and then the sheer kind of cocktail dress with the big billowy sleeves. She actually had a styled wig, ladies and gentlemen. So we know. I did it. And I'm just going to read this real quick before we get into her performance. A friend of mine is in here, Bow and Arrow, and she said, anyone else notice Candy used Aquaria's line from American, which Ollie should.
Yes, American.
And he wrote, probably not because you can't understand her. So Ollie,
y'all are shady this Sunday.
we'll let you go first, Ollie.
Well, first I want to say happy birthday, Bowen Arrow. It's her birthday
happy
today.
birthday.
Thank you for joining us. Love you. Can't wait to see you again performing. What are we talking about? Candy? Okay. For her performance, she was probably the weakest, let's be real. Like, she's the one who's the last person I remembered was Candy, probably. She looked great, but her look on the runway, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, was this supposed to be like her sheer look?
Oh, someone just wrote that in the chat.
Yes, who wrote that?
Excellence look for the train look.
Yes.
And then wore her sheer look for this.
Yes, the red was her drag excellence originally, but she switched it because one of the runways they didn't get to do. So that makes completely sense. I was thinking that, and she's like, I don't usually wear this. I like that she mentioned that. Like, Candy's like, this is a look that is totally Candy. Like, I don't need the long gown, whatnot, even though her drag excellence was originally going to be a long gown. But like, so I kind of like that, but I was underwhelmed with her look this week as well. Yes to the style of the wig, but I don't know. It's just it's weird when they switch their looks, you know. I don't know.
Tez, you look like you're perplexed.
Well, so I was trying to remember the look, but I think they actually showed a flashback of her wearing that look on this episode when they But it's interesting because you say she switched, and when they gave her comments and they said that, you know, she was good but not necessarily strong in the look department, they showed that look. So it's like, what would she have really worn? I don't really know. Like, It was okay. What she wore, it definitely wasn't finale drag excellence, but even if she switched, I think this is the red look, right? That was the look, the red long with the hair down the, like, is that what it was? Did we like that when we reviewed it? Did we like that?
No, her undergarments were showing.
Yeah, we didn't like that. So I don't know. I don't like this one either.
Well, damn.
Jayla.
Okay, well, I absolutely liked it because I love the color block. I love the funness of it. And you said she did have the style wig on this time. I thought it was absolutely great for what Candy is giving and what she had to offer. So when she came around the corner, I said, oh, not what I was expecting. We'll go with it. As far as the verse goes, I don't like, okay, I may sound a little dated with this, but I don't like when the girls use the word bitch in like their final songs, because it's just like, you know, like, give me my crown, bitch. Like, it just throws off the entire like song, if you will. And it's just like, it's just off-putting, if you will. Maybe we should ban that. I don't like it. It's just tacky when it came to the certain part. Like, the song didn't call for you to be like aggressive, if you will. But
that's Candy.
I want to
That's
feel
like
lucky.
That's like her
I don't
drag.
want to. Yeah, I don't want to feel that way all the time. I want to feel LUCKY lucky. Okay.
Well, I think it's important. I think part of the challenge is you're writing a verse for this song. Like, listen to what the song is about. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I get it. You want to make it your own, but I agree. I mean, I agree with you 1,000%, Jayla. I'm not a big fan of, you know, it's always been one of my things too. When Mark cusses like a sailor. Lorayne, I really do try, if I'm on a microphone, I really try to avoid any curse words, just because it's such an easy go-to to get a reaction that I don't want to do that. And I feel like that's kind of what, you know, I feel like she's kind of reaching for straws too sometimes, where she's just like, well, I'm going to be, you know, I'm this rough, tough person from Brooklyn, so I got to say this and blah, blah, blah. It just goes to
like the Hood to Hollywood part was great. I loved it, but it could have been somewhere else with it, because it's just like Meghan Trainor doing All About That Bass, and she's like, yeah, bitch, shake your ass, all about that bass. Like, it's off-putting, you know what I mean? Because I want to be, you know, I'm all about that bass and no trouble. But if she'd have been like, bitch, I'm all about that, it'd have been like, whoa, you know what I mean? Like Oprah, whoa.
Yeah. Jackie,
did you just compare Candy to Oprah?
Absolutely not. I compare myself to Oprah. Let's get that very clear.
No.
I didn't have a problem with the performance, but I just didn't like this look. And now that Ollie explained it was like a flipped look with another look, I feel like that makes more sense, because, you know, she came out with this like nonsense explanation where she was like, my look is different than anybody else's. It's like, we know you've done these like elegant and sexy looks, which to me, I feel like would be more on brand for her for drag excellence. And she's had several of those looks this season. So for her to come out in like what seemed to me like a raincoat just didn't make sense. And so
Jackie,
I think
she was not a raincoat. She was a very expensive hamper.
Oh,
yeah.
Well,
but
I mean, I liked it from the neck up. I loved the wig. I thought her makeup was great. It just did not read as drag excellence to me.
Yeah. I didn't think it was drag excellence. I liked it, like, as a look. I was like, when she came around the corner, I actually said to myself on the couch, Mark, don't you're allowed to enjoy it if you think it's good. I don't have to.
I mean, it's on brand.
And it was.
With the video.
I thought it was on brand for her. It makes more sense now that I know that it was the sheer look. I didn't hate it. I thought she looked the most put together than she has all season. So I'll give her that as her excellence, is that she actually had a styled wig, which I'm sure she borrowed from somebody. Kidding.
Okay, button.
Okay. Next up is Rosé in her gown of tartan. I will just start by saying I think this is absolutely the worst Rosé has looked the entire season. I thought the gown was horrendous. I thought her makeup was horrible. I thought the wig looked like she had just pulled it out of a box. I could not be more disappointed in that look. Ollie has his jaw to the floor, not in a good way. So Ollie, what do you have to say?
I liked it. I don't know. Like I to me, this was getting more into. I'm like, okay, now the girls are bringing their drag excellence. Like my only critique is that I didn't like the gloves. Like I didn't think she did the damn gloves. Those lace black gloves. They were hideous. But like I love the tartan. I love that she brought her Scottish heritage. I love the long hair. Like maybe the makeup was, I don't know. Maybe I can agree with you in that sentiment. But like I really liked it. In comparison to Gottmik and Candy's like excellence, I thought I was like, okay, finally the girls are bringing it to the right direction. And Rosé's performance, not even my favorite, but I have to give that bitch credit. Like she killed it. She killed the Lucky performance. She did her little rap, which was, I was a little worried about that, to be perfectly honest, but she killed it. She killed it this week. She killed it.
No, I thought her performance was good. I just, when she came around the corner, I mean, it looked like she was like, hey, somebody hand me that brown belt over there. I'm gonna put it on my dress. Like nothing made sense. It just looked ill fit. It kind of went back to what she had been doing early in the season. Just something not flattering, something that it just looked bad. I'm sorry, it looked bad to me.
She had
Lorayne,
worse
I feel
looks.
like if Rosé wins this, she's gonna need a stylist. She's gonna need someone to make her costumes or style her, because I love where it was going, in the sense that you got red hair and like a tartan outfit to represent your Scottish heritage. I love that part of it, but the tartan swallowed her. It was another one of these like loofah silhouettes that I'm not fond of. Mm-hmm. So I was thinking of when the Vivienne did like a Vivienne Westwood kind of tartan look, and it didn't swallow her. So there's a way to do tartan where it will give you some sort of silhouette that doesn't just look like it. I mean, this to me did look like you took a blanket and you belted it.
Yeah, completely.
Yeah, I thought she was giving like Brave, the movie Brave. I thought she was giving that like realness. I absolutely loved the hair. It was so long and red and Scottish. That's a terrible Scottish accent, obviously. But I hated those black ass gloves.
Thank you.
I hate the black gloves. Like, why weren't they the same material? Why weren't they just one color of the, what do you guys call it? The tartan, you know what I mean? Like, why couldn't it have been like consistent? The makeup, not like, okay, I'm looking at the chat as well, and they are not feeling it. So I don't know if, we're gonna pass over the makeup. They've already said it up for me, so we just go, we're gonna move on.
They kind of agree. I have two friends, Gerald and Glenn. Glenn's watching in England. I'll take Rosé's tartan any way over mixed repeated kabuki makeup. Okay.
Ooh, honey.
See, that makeup though, I feel like that makeup, she's given a reason why she's doing it. It's purposeful. It looks like very well done. Rosé, it's like, I don't feel like the loofah silhouette is purposeful. Like there's no explanation for it. You just seem lazy.
Yeah. Tez.
So we've seen worse from her, and we've seen better. So I will put this like in the middle for Rosé. I did not hate it. I just didn't love it, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, you know, I guess I don't know. I like that she was trying, because she pulled in her Scottish, you know, background into it. So I like the concept. I think it could have been executed with a little more glamour. And I'm going back to like.
So can I add?
So what?
I think that the glamour part of it would have been if she. Okay, do you remember the Henny I Shrunk the Drag Queen's wig, that pink short pixie cut? If that would have been like the Scottish red, and that would have been like the edgy cut with that, you know, that silhouette like that, she would have sold it immediately.
Yeah, I think like it had the potential to be really great, and that it goes back to like when I interviewed Tamisha. One thing she said was she thinks that, you know, glamour is based on the runway, and I think like, you know, everyone wants to bring fashion and bring inspiration for ethnicity and background, but they're forgetting like the other details. Like she could have like found a way to like study that dress or make it more something to make it more like appealing for the eye, because obviously she thought she was the baddest, but we wouldn't be having this debate for this long if she really was, because she was like only okay. It was very meh, but I mean, for a finale look, honestly, I was underwhelmed. That's what I'm gonna say. I would have wanted to see that like episode 6, maybe. But yeah.
Well, and somebody who said this in the chat, somebody in the chat just C. Williams. She did say, Rosé did say in her Inside Drag Race interview, she's only been doing drag 3 years. So
yes, she did. Yeah,
which I think, you know, again, I almost wish instead of their age on when they put their names in on the thing, I want to see the years of drag. I don't care, you know what I mean? Like, I don't care about how old. I think the thing that for us to help us is to see how long they've been doing it. I think that would make more sense. Anyways, but that's just my opinion. We'll do that on Lorraine Loves Drag Race. And last,
it's coming to Paramount.
Yes, Paramount Minus, not Paramount Plus.
And last but not least, Simone. She had the purple gown with the large sleeves. I'll say that her performance also surprised me. I mean, you could tell that she is not a singer or a dancer, but I thought she did really well. Like, I smiled and I was like, oh, she's doing really, really well. And I love the look. I don't think anyone can ever argue that she doesn't look amazing on the runway. We'll start with Miss Jayla. What'd you think of Simone?
Okay, what did I think of Simone? I thought a few things. Okay, let's go with the runway first. It was very Cecily Tyson. It was very, and I feel like I've seen Cynthia Erivo in this look before, because she's very fashion icon. So Simone takes her fashion inspiration from the great Black queens and the ebony enchantresses before her. So I do love the the nod. I love the cornrows with the jewels in between. It's very cultured, very Black excellence. The purple fair skin, like, you know, the entire look was amazing. You know what I mean? It was great. It was beyond. Now,
like, but
there's a few but.
Oh no!
I could tell it was coming.
I'm scared.
Tonight on the Lucky song, I hate the verse, because it was the tempo of the song was picking up, and then it gets to her, and then it's the you wanna look at me. I'm like, come on! You were supposed to fast rap. You were supposed to vogue it out. You were supposed to give the dance break. You were supposed to give us something. You know what I mean? And it was just like, oh, here we go with this ABC rap, girl. I hate drag rap. You guys know I hate drag rap. So for that to be that, and I was like, Miss Girl. At this point, I was like, whatever. She looked amazing though. So I could not tell her otherwise. But that rap girl, Miss Thing. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Cecily Tyson.
That is my line. I'm sorry, that's my quote of the week. I like fell out because
I've been saying that all weekend.
Jackie, what did you think of Simone?
You say me?
Jackie.
Oh, Jackie. Okay.
I loved that finale look. To me, that's the only look in the top 4 that said drag excellence to me. Because it was like, this is what I expect from people. I expect from you to do something that means something to you, you know, but also is like an elevated version of some of the looks that you put forth before.
Yeah.
And I felt that like, that was extremely, it was completely Simone, but it was also completely like a heightened version of her normal looks. So to me, that was like chef's kiss. Like that was the look I wanted to.
Yeah.
And her performance?
Oh, I loved everybody's performance.
Okay.
I enjoyed it.
Tez?
I actually was very like head turned when I heard the because I was just like, oh, but then from there, it went nowhere. That's what happened. Like she kind of lost it because she could have used it. I didn't mind because honestly, it was like from the House of Hall. Then it went nowhere, you know? It's the same type of like, okay, strong entry in my opinion, but then it went flat. So performance-wise, it was okay. She looked a little awkward to me, like she's not a performer. I get it, but even like she just had a simple like hip thrust, and she was like off. So just things like that. I feel like when we're talking about like Work the World and like Vegas, I don't know if she's gonna be a good candidate for that because she's really not a performer. And I know like there have been other drag queens in the past that usually get into that. Like Asia O'Hara was not, but or maybe they make her more of like a host or MC because as a performer, she does not have it at all.
Yeah.
At all.
Well, we're gonna give her a couple more weeks to like learn the routine. We'll give her rehearsals first before we go to Vegas.
I want to see her at the finale because at the finale, she's lip synced 3 times now, and she's never given us. It's the same type of lip sync. So I'm curious to see how she switches it up because I know that she knows that people are thinking she's going to be over there just doing this and. Everybody got a sweet tooth. So hopefully she switches it up and I guess changes my mind at the finale. As far as her look, I loved it. It was beautiful. I thought she had the best look of the 4. And I thought it was really like drag excellence. I thought she nailed it. Because honestly, we've been saying like relying on body. And I feel like what I would have expected would have been something relying on body and very on that brand, but she really like switched it up and brought it home. So I thought she nailed it.
Ollie?
Y'all, well, first off, I agree. She had the best look on the runway, hands down. That was pure drag excellence. It looked amazing on her. Like, I honestly was disappointed with like Gottmik and Candy. I was like, come on, step it up. But anyways, back to Simone, y'all. Like, I think she is a performer. Like, we haven't talked about it yet, but her last lip sync, girl, it was so good. So I definitely will give her credit. I actually really enjoyed her performance. I thought, you know what it gave me? It gave me Destiny's Child, Lose My Breath. When Michelle came in at the end, when she's like, you can't make me say, ooh. So she slowed it down a little bit because she didn't want you to forget about her. She's like, you guys aren't going to forget about me on the end of this lucky track.
Oh, so baby. Her verse goes up there with Roxy Andrews and All-Stars 2.
But you already know Roxy Andrews. You know that word for word.
You do know that word.
It's so bad. It's iconic. I enjoyed Simone's performance. I enjoyed it more than Candy's, at least. I'll say that. I still think Rosé killed it. But I thought Simone did amazing on the runway this week. Hands down.
You want to kiss on me?
Well, one other thing that I just wanted to point out, since Ronnie Jr.'s in the chat room now.
We know you're Candy's #1 fan, Ronnie.
He thinks Candy should win. I'm going to point it out again because it's annoying. Again, she wore garter belts and didn't clip them to the pantyhose. And I don't understand why you're wearing them if you're not going to clip them to the pantyhose. And it's annoying. So I'll leave it with that. so that was everybody. On the runway, they did get their messages to their younger selves. They got to, talk to their pictures and stuff. We kind of talked about this at the beginning, so we don't really need to necessarily go into it again. But anything you guys want to add about it? About the messages to themselves? No? Okay, that's fine.
No.
Where was
I
Rue's
think they needed to
tears?
hear it more than we did. So
I just want to know where are
yes, exactly. Those tears. It was just kind of like, he was like, oh my God. And I was like, what are you doing, RuPaul? Like, I get it, but it's like, it was terrible. Like, RuPaul, stop it.
Thank you, Tez. Thank you for having my back. It was a little.
I'm glad you reminded it because I really forgot. But I literally said, come on. Like, what are you doing?
What are you guys referring to?
He was talking about how Got Mixed story and what he said had touched him. But he was just like, oh my God, the house is on fire. What am I going to do with this? I'm like, what are you doing? Like, it's not that. He's not even evoking the emotion that he was trying to portray. And I thought it was a little fake, in my opinion.
yeah, because like the next sentence, it was like,
he's got to get an Emmy. He's got to get that Emmy.
Well, it's like, if you want an Emmy, like, I honestly thought
you gotta cry.
He needs to not even cry, like, actually, like, speak out your apology to the trans community. Like, you never did that. Like, I know we're getting off topic. I don't want to like spend too much time on it and be all negative, but like, to me, that's Emmy worthy. Actually, like, speaking an apology. Like, it just seems too forced and it's cringeworthy, and I don't buy it as a viewer, and knowing the track record that Ru had with the community. So I don't know. I just wanted to bring it up.
Yeah, he was just trying to make up for Allie and was it AJ and the Queen, because they got canceled. So he was trying to figure out a way.
No, I can't be seen on this.
I actually love that show, but yeah.
I did too. I recapped it on AfterBuzz.
It was fun. I had a fun
show.
Yeah, I enjoyed it actually.
Well, then they all also did something a little bit different that I don't know that I loved. Was they all got to lip sync to Learn from the Best by Whitney Houston. However, this time they all had their own stage time to do it.
I think they had to do that because of COVID rules. Because I think there wasn't enough room on the stage for them
to stay separated.
To stay separated.
But,
because I thought it was weird too.
But they stand by each other in the back.
It doesn't make sense. No one's saying it makes sense, but
okay.
Wait, what
that
happened?
was the only reason I could come up with as to why.
Because they were lip syncing, and then the other queens were standing next to her in the back. So it was just like, I think he just probably wanted to do something different, because we know.
Did you guys clock that they spoiled Candy's reveal before they showed it?
Mm-mm.
Go back and watch when they showed Simone do hers by herself, and Candy had she had a corset already off, the thing already off, and then they showed her 2 minutes after finally taking it off, and I was like, you guys ruined her reveal, but whatever.
Well, is it really a reveal when you can see through it and you know what's underneath it?
Well, let her have a moment to shine, okay?
Just saying, I saw what was underneath.
No moments for Candy to shine. Sorry, Ronnie, because he's here now. You have come to the wrong place if you want that. Did you guys, did you like, I was kind of like, at first I was like, oh, okay. And then as I started watching it, I was like, I don't know.
Much prefer, I thought maybe they were doing this because of COVID rules. Like, I much prefer when they're all on stage together, because I feel like they're interacting with each other and they're building off of each other's vibes. So it was just, this was weird to me too, because even in the finale last season, you had the difference of like different songs, and they were filming they got to set up their own environment and everything. So just to have like the exact same song, the exact same stage, and then weird cuts where they're not actually interacting with each other was a little bit disjointed to me. I prefer them to be there together.
Yeah.
I think Simone was the moment. That's it.
Yeah.
I could have just saved the lip sync moment and just not the lip sync and said you all are top 4 and we'll see you in 2 weeks. Honestly, the lip sync, nothing. It did nothing. I mean, it was.
Well, I like that they did
like
a Whitney song. I feel like it's been a while, so I liked that.
Simone did great. I thought that Gottmik was trying. She was trying to say, okay, I'm a performer. Guys, believe me. Please believe me. And then Rosé, I felt, I don't know if Rosé has studied Whitney. I feel like Simone and Candy was slightly giving us a little Whitney. And it's also an up-tempo song, too. So I like where Candy was incorporating like dance. I was surprised that Rosé didn't do anything, but I guess she couldn't because she was in, what would you call it, a belt? What do you guys call it?
Yeah.
So yeah, go ahead.
No, I was gonna just say, I feel like, because originally it was a final 2. Season 2 had a top 3. Season 3 had a top 3, and then eventually it became a top 4. And I feel like it ends up becoming a top 4, like on a season when somebody got eliminated for, it was in 4th place and they were like, oh, I wish they were in the final. So then the next season they're like, okay, well, we'll do a top 4 because people like that person. I just feel like you don't always have to do a top 4 now. You know what I mean? Like, get rid of somebody. Like, the dead weight. We all know who it is. But it's like, I feel like they're getting stuck in these things. I'm like, you don't do it different each time. You know what I mean? Like, mix it up. The show is pretty predictable anyway. So it's like, why not? Why not just change it up a little bit,
Do you think that they filmed like winners just in case they can do like a finale or something?
I don't know. That's a good question.
Well, they filmed the winners at the grand finale. So they shoot everybody winning or whoever's in the top 2 winning.
Well, see, what I'm saying is like at that time, because of COVID, maybe because at that time we didn't really know what will be happening now. Could we even have anything at all? So I was wondering, like, kind of, did they do something similar for like UK or like the older seasons? But I guess probably not. I guess if anything, they probably would do another like virtual like they did last year.
No, they're doing live this year.
You go to the theater, it has it up.
Yeah, they have a marquee up.
It's at the theater?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
No audience.
But they're not going to have live guests. They're going to just put us from 2 years ago on there.
Right, exactly.
Well, I was there.
That's what I thought they would do. That's what I figured.
Are they really
I was there too. Then I said us.
Are they really going to do that for real?
I mean, it's logical. Did you get a ticket? Did they sell tickets?
No audience.
No, I'm saying like, are they going to like put like the old audience there?
I wouldn't be surprised if they do, because the way they film it, you guys have been to that theater. It's like the way they film it, it seems like they make it look much bigger than it is anyway. Might as well just make it look like it has an audience.
Because, like Michelle and Carson and them, they sit in the balcony, so we can always get them up there and we can just, do back and forth and then just add the crowd in later.
I'm going to sneak in.
Amber in the chat says it's been a top 4 every season since 9, and every season they pretend that they're sending somebody home to make it a 3. So yeah, I say like, I don't like, it doesn't have to be a top 4. Like, again, like I think that they just go by they obviously thought Candy was going to be liked by a lot of people. So I guess maybe we shouldn't go by their judgment. Anyway.
There's more people in the chat who like Candy. You guys were like, I'm just joking because Ronnie's my friend, know, and Candy is not my favorite, but I know it's his favorite. But so for the people in the chat who are Candy stans, like, full on go and love the queen that you want to love.
Absolutely. No.
Jose, they are all I'm seeing leave Candy alone.
Yeah, I'm just saying that's not my preference. But if you love Candy, that's great. I'm glad there's a queen that's in the top 4 that's like your preference.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So we do have a final 4. That was the episode. Next week will be the Reunited. So we will get to have all the old queens come back and have some discussions and stuff like that. So we'll be here talking about it. And if the fans have any questions or things we didn't touch on, you want to write in the chat, do that now. We'll get to them in a moment as soon as we're done with our special segments. Starting off with our mirror moments. Again, I felt like there wasn't a ton. There was a moment where Gottmik was talking about the pressure of being a representative of the female to male trans community, and how, you know, the pressure now of having to deal with that and stuff. So that was something that was talked about. And then Simone also had a moment where just even saying that she loves herself really made her get emotional. I feel like Simone is very, Gottmik made a comment about Simone. She's like, you know, I didn't know you before this, but I knew who you were, and I saw you out, and I saw you in clubs, and you were very, very shy, very, you know, kept to yourself and stuff. And you're like such a different person now. I think Simone has come a long way. I think Gottmik too. I think, you know, like she, you know, was even saying, I mean, I don't think that she should necessarily do comedy. Doing comedy for real and doing comedy on Drag Race are very different things. But I think they both have grown and evolved in a very positive way. And they both have learned things about themselves. So did you guys have anything about those moments that you wanted to get off your chest?
I think the thing that struck me about Simone in this episode was, I know that Simone has kind of touched on this, where Simone has said previously, like, I didn't feel comfortable or confident until I became Simone. And it kind of didn't, you know, you hear that and it kind of didn't like really sink in until she started getting really emotional about it in this episode and talked about like leaving Arkansas with her whole drag family and everything. Because from the first episode, I was like, wow, this person is a star. You know, like you see Simone and she seems so put together and she's beautiful. And so we see these drag queens sometimes and you automatically form a thought where you're like, oh, they seem like everything's together. You know, they're a star, like they've got everything going for them. And you kind of forget that they had this struggle to get to that point. And that even when you're at this point, you know, we saw this like with Candy in the last Untucked, where it's like, even if you're at this point where you're like finally on Drag Race and you're, you know, you're up here in like the top 4 or 5 and you're still feeling that level of like, am I good enough? I'm feeling insecure, you know? And I think that's a very relatable feeling, because everyone, no matter how far along they are in their lives or in their careers, you do have those moments where you start to have a minute of like, oh my gosh, am I doing the right thing? Or I'm having some self-doubt or something like that. So I appreciated that kind of opening up, because I really think it's something that everyone can relate to. And it shows you that, you know, even a person who you might think has it all together is still experiencing those feelings, and that it's okay to work through that, you know?
Absolutely. Absolutely. We also got video messages from Rosé's little brother, Louis, and a video from Simone's mother. So everybody that's left has gotten a video message. Anything, I was not surprised that Simone got emotional by any means, but we saw Rosé actually get emotional, and Candy even says, oh my gosh, I think this is the first time I've seen you cry this whole time. Because I think Rosé might be one, like what you were saying, Jacque, is somebody that, you know, because she's, you know, looks so put together and stuff. I think it's a European thing too, that they're not very emotional. I was, you know, good to see her kind of have a tender moment as well.
Well, I think too, because Rosé, yeah, it's like Rosé is a person who is always like, I'm a perfectionist, you know, and we see that like level of perfection and everything. So yeah, I agree, like on the same level, that it was nice to see Rosé. But I keep getting tripped up by the fact that Rosé's brother has like pretty much a Scottish accent kind of, and Rosé doesn't have one. And I'm like, I don't know. I'm like perplexed by that.
Maybe he stayed there longer. Who knows?
Yeah.
So that was that. And then my quote of the week this week is actually from Untucked. When Rose, when they're talking about like, do you think somebody's going to go home? What's going to happen next? And Rose says, maybe Elliot with 2 T's is going to come back and vote one of us out. I literally like almost peed myself. I thought that was absolutely, because you never know. You do never know. But I thought it was funny. Jackie, do we have a fan of the week or two?
We have 3. So the first one is Jessie Drew, who says, I absolutely love how unapologetically Black Jayla is. I'm definitely a fan of this panel. It's no smoke and mirrors, and I live for that.
Oh.
So
yes, keep it real, bitch.
Cheers to you guys for honesty. Adraville says their top 3 was Utica, Gottmik, and Simone. So let's see who gets the crown this year. Got pretty close to the top 3, but I still got the actual top 3. I was feeling so proud of myself for that. Zoino Miko says, as someone who's familiar with Harajuku fashions, an Asian print does not J fashion make. So this was a comment on the last episode.
Oh, I saw that one. Yeah.
Yeah.
I saw that. So it was in reference to Candy's look.
Yeah. So thank you guys for commenting. As always, we love seeing your comments. And if you comment on iTunes or YouTube, you could become fan of the week.
Yes. And be sure to subscribe. I do believe there's somewhere on this screen, there's a subscribe button. You can just click on that and subscribe. If you want to get alerts, click the bell. And now just a little bit of quick news and gossip. It was announced that May 1st will be the premiere of Drag Race Down Under. It will be on Paramount Plus. So if you do not have Paramount Plus, get it so that you can watch Down Under. I think it will also be on Wow Presents Plus. I could be wrong, but I think it will be as well. But I think it's on both. I'm not sure. Whatever. I know All Stars 6 is going to be on Paramount Plus, which is also starting soon-ish.
Yes.
As a reminder, if you watched Drag Race UK Season 2, Ollie and I did a 2-part recap of that. The link is in the description of this YouTube video. So if you've watched it and you want to go back and relive it through me and Ollie, feel free to use those links. Tez also did an interview with Tamisha Iman. That link is in the description. Check that out. And then I have a quick little interview with Karen from Finance. Speaking of Drag Race Down Under, she's going to be on the new season. If you want to see my little interview with her from DragCon 2019, that is also in the descriptor.
And Jayla's performing live in Florida. If you want to in Florida.
Oh yeah.
If you're in Florida, find me. My tour starts back in a couple of weeks. You know, I do like the Roxx experience. I take it on the road and whatever. So I didn't get a chance to do it last year. So I'm vaccinated. So I'm going to go and be socially responsible to see all my fans live. It's going to be fun. And yeah, I can't wait. We're going to have dancers and everything. So I'll send some videos.
Do you know where you're going to be?
I don't know yet, but when the dates are posted, I will be posting them. So
okay, perfect.
Yeah.
Also, too, in the description on YouTube, I put all of our social media handles. So if you have trouble finding us, you can go there and copy and paste them if you need to see that. Before we go, I just want to recap since Tez is here. Now these are not these are not who we necessarily thought was going to be in the top, but who were our tops, who were the ones in the show that we were like, I really would love to see them go far and be in the finals, blah blah blah. So we'll start with Tez before he runs away. Tez picked Simone, Tina Burner, Olivia Lux, and honorable mention Candy Muse.
This is still gonna live down.
2 out of the 4. 2 out of 4. It's not bad.
You know, at least no one can say I started out on Candy's side.
Yep.
And
Yes.
you know, she just let me down.
Totally
So
did.
you can say, right,
He
I was there.
Totally did. Jayla picked Gottmik, Lala Ree, and Simone. So you have two.
What was I thinking? No, I'm just kidding.
She's a cheater.
I chose my tops were Lala Ree, Simone, Utica Queen, and I gave Tamisha Iman an honorable mention.
Okay.
So I have one, which doesn't surprise me because the people that I like never usually end up in the top, so I'm not surprised. Jackie picked Simone, Tamisha Iman, Gottmik, and Rosé. So Jackie.
Oh wow, she's 3. She's the winner.
Jackie must be she's a producer, I feel. She works hard.
I'm a secret producer on RuPaul's Drag Race.
And then our
But I do want to say that like those are people that I genuinely did like this season. So Lorayne, I feel the opposite that you do. I'm loving this season because 3 of my favorites are now in the top.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
it's very exciting.
It makes complete sense too. And Ollie picked Simone, Utica, and Gottmik. So you had 2 of 3.
We all had
Yeah,
Simone. We all had Simone in our tops.
But I will point this out that Ollie was the only one that included Lorraine Love on his list. So, right.
Yes, I can't wait for Lorraine's Love Drag Race on Paramount Minus, honey. It's going to be amazing. I can't wait.
Oh my God.
Yes.
Thanks everybody for joining us live.
It's gonna be Derek Barry is gonna be co-hosting on the panel.
Yes, Derek Barry and Roxy Andrews is coming through to make it clear.
It's not
Yes, honey.
funny. It's not even humorous. Don't do comedy, Jackie.
Oh my God.
I think that if I submit and I get on, I hope could you imagine if I get on and it's a roast and like Derek is a guest that I have to roast and Candy and Raja O'Hare, like it's gonna be like shit girl. Somebody send word to the producers. All right, let's go around, tell everybody where they can find you and stalk you on social media. Let's start with Ollie.
Hey guys, you can stalk me on all social media platforms at Ollie Dreamer.
And Tez?
You can find me at the Lean blog because I'm currently ramping up things there and more because just like here, I'm trying to get to monetize status. So Instagram at the Lean blog. Of course, that's me in the comments, the Lean. Follow me, all outlets, same name.
They links to the Lean channel, Ollie's channel, my channel, Jayla's channel. Those are also connected to this. If you click on the channels tab, you'll see them all. You can go in and subscribe to all of them. Jayla, where can they find you?
Yes, you can follow me on Instagram at Who is Jayla Roxx. That's 2 X's 3 if you nasty. And if you like all of these wonderful looks that I'll be putting together all season long, you can follow Batme Cosmetics. That's BATME Cosmetics.com. Or you can follow them on Instagram, Batme Cosmetics. And yeah, get your live.
Jayla also did Tina Burner's makeup. Oh, I'm sorry.
Look, I'm trying to
she didn't.
here,
She didn't. Right. No, she did not do Tina Burner's makeup. Okay.
It's the secret fire palette.
Yeah.
Oh no, don't say that.
And Jackie?
I'm at 123 Jackie B on all platforms, but Jayla does have a new palette, like a for
Yes, Aquatic Dream is mermaids. If you like mermaids, it's coming out in a couple of weeks. So have fun. Let's go dive in together.
You can't see it. Here we go. That's my Batme box of donuts.
Honey.
It's out. It's out.
I use here, I'll show you which ones I used today. I used this one.
And you can't see.
One. Oh, you
I used this one.
This pink one. And I used this. I love this one, Jayla. I use it for my highlight on my eyebrow. It's perfect.
I use that one on my eyebrow.
I love it.
Oh, I love the support, y'all. Get y'all a palette.
That's black. I love your black. Your black is really like deep black. I don't have to like.
Yes, honey. I love my black too. I stand in it every day.
So get your box of donuts palette from Batman Cosmetics. And you can follow me on Instagram at Lorayne Love, Lorayne Love. Or if you want to see pictures of my dogs, the Mark J. Freeman.
Thanks, you guys.
Thank you, everybody, for joining us live. I saw there were some newbies in there and stuff. So thank you guys who joined us live. We love you. We will see you soon. Next week. We'll be back.